Good evening everybody, myself Vishvendra, the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today I shall talk to you about projectile motion, which is a 2D motion. 2D motion means two of the coordinates specifying its position in space changes with time, while the third one remains unchanged. So you can take two coordinates as xy, yz or xz. In general case, we assume that motion is taking place in xy plane, so x and y coordinates are changing with respect to time. That's what we refer to as the projectile motion. There are certain parameters related to the projectile motion. So let's look into the things with proper perspectives. So let's suppose that I project a projectile from point A with an initial speed u, making an angle theta with the x-axis. It follows a parabolic path and finally reaches to C. So this point is A, this point is B, and this point is C. So I define certain parameters over here. The first thing is time taken from point A to point B. It's equal to u sin theta by g. It can be written as uy upon ay, and it is equal to the time taken by the projectile to reach from B to C. Here it should be C. So time taken from B to C. In this case, we have assumed there is no air friction. In that case, the two times are equal. If air friction is there, then time taken from A to B will be less than time taken from B to C, because friction opposes speed, opposes velocity. So during the journey from A to B, velocity will be upward, so gravity will be downward, and force due to air friction will also be downward. So it will deaccelerate at a larger rate. While when it moves from B to C, the velocity is downward, so the air friction will apply a force in upward direction. Gravity will be downward, so less resistive force will be there. So time will increase. That's the simple logic for that. We define capital T, which is called the time of flight. It is equal to 2u sin theta by g, which is twice the time taken from A to B. Then we define the maximum height h, which is u square sin square theta by 2g. It can be written as uy square by twice of ay. Then we have the horizontal range, the distance AC. It is u square sin 2 theta by g, which can be written in another way as twice ux uy by g. The ratio of h by r is tan theta by 4, and the relation between y and x is y is equal to ax minus bx square. Here range is a upon b and the maximum height is a square by 4. You can verify these by putting the values. So u is the initial speed, theta is angle of projection, TAB is time of ascent, TB to C is the time of descent, capital T is time of flight, capital H is maximum height, R is horizontal range, ux is initial speed along x-axis, uy initial speed along y-axis, ay acceleration along y-axis, x is instantaneous x coordinate, and y is instantaneous y coordinate. So this is information related to the projectile motion. Whatever you do learn, you also must retrieve that in the way that I have shown you. In fact, in a better way. We always should look for betterment, for updations. So I am able to retrieve this information in the way that you have seen, because I have followed a certain process. The set of processes basically. The first thing is a silent mind, second is idea, third is information, and fourth is calculation. Whatever you want to learn, make sure that the first step is you are into a silent state of mind, which Albert Einstein referred to as the state of learning. Learning is human mind learns itself. But until and unless we are confused, we are struggling with thoughts, we are not clear, we are not focused, we can't learn. So the first step is a silent mind. Make your mind silent. Silent and curiosity are the only two things needed to learn anything. If you are silent internally and you are curious to know, you will know the secrets of entire universe. Thank you and have a nice day. गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीबॉडी, ऑप्टिमल सक्सेस ट्रैजेक्टरी की ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। मैं डिस्कस करूंगा आपसे आज इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड ड्यू टू अ रिंग. सपोज वी हैव अ यूनिफॉर्म रिंग, सो द चार्ज इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड ओवर द एंटायर circumference of the ring. So I take an element dq here, and let us calculate the electric field at a point on the axis of the ring and at a distance of x from the center. So suppose the radius is r, so this distance is root under x square plus r square. So for this elemental charge dq, the electric field will be radially outward in this direction, and for this charge the electric field will be radially outward like that. So what we can see is that the net electric field due to these two elements will be along the axis of the ring, and the ring can be assumed to be comprising of these pairs, infinite number of these pairs. So for every pair, electric field will be along the axis of the ring. So we can simply add them, and for continuous addition we use integration. So the electric field can be written as integration of dE parallel, which is integration of dE cos theta. And after all the calculations we have, E is equal to kqxy x plus r square 3 by 2. We need to draw the graph, so for that we need to find the extremes of this graph. So just differentiate the graph, differentiate the expression, and after all calculations we have x is equal to plus minus r by root 2. If we substitute this value, we get electric field as 2kq by 3 root 3 r square. So at x is equal to 0, electric field is 0. At x is equal to r by root 2, electric field will be maximum. And when x will tend to infinity, so this vector will dominate and electric field will tend to 0. So it will have a horizontal asymptote at x tending to infinity. So this will be the shape of the graph. I hope it works for you. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody, myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today we will discuss about scalar product of vectors. So we know that scalar product, there are two vectors, vector A and vector B. The scalar product is defined as A dot B. It is also called as the dot product because we use the symbol dot for that. So we will analyze scalar product in its geometrical aspect and in its mathematical aspect. Let there are two vectors, vector A and vector B, and they are inclined to each other at an angle theta. Then A dot B is defined as AB cos theta. So this you can write as A into B cos theta, and B cos theta can be written as B parallel, which is projection of vector B along vector A. As you can see over here, B is making an angle theta with A. So if you resolve B along and perpendicular to A, so the parallel component or along A, it can be resolved as B cos theta. So you can use this definition that A dot B is A into projection of B parallel to A. In another definition, you can write A dot B is AB cos theta, that is A cos theta into B. A cos theta can be written as A parallel, which is projection of A parallel to B. So in this way you can use the geometrical aspect. Let's talk about the mathematical aspect. Let vector A is equal to A1 I cap plus A2 j cap plus A3 k cap, and vector B is equal to B1 I cap plus B2 j cap plus B3 k cap. Then A dot B is defined as A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3. A dot B is AB cos theta. So cos theta will be A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3 upon AB. So A is magnitude of vector A, and we know that magnitude is root under A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square, and magnitude of vector B will be B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square under the root. So in this way you can analyze the scalar product. So whatever information you learn, make sure you learn that systematically, point wise and in all the aspects, and you must learn the information by heart. Only then you will be able to solve question, because problem solving involves certain processes. The first is a silent mind, second is the idea, third is information, and fourth is calculation. You must be an expert in these four processes. Learn the art of executing these processes in a proper sequence, in a synchronized way, and nobody can stop you from being successful in today's dynamic world. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody, myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today we will discuss about scalar product of vectors in terms of angle. So let's suppose that we define A dot B as AB cos theta. So if theta is acute, that means it lies between 0 degree to 90 degree, then cos theta will be positive, then A dot B will be positive. So if dot product is positive, then you can say that angle between them is acute. The next is if theta is obtuse, that is it lies between 90 to 180, then cos theta will be negative, then A dot B will be negative. That means you can say that if dot product is negative, angle between vectors is obtuse. Third case, if theta is 90, cos theta will be 0. that means A dot B will be 0. So you can say that if dot product of two vectors is 0, they are perpendicular. Next is if theta is 0, then cos theta will be 1 maximum. So A dot B has a maximum value AB when theta is 0. That means vectors are parallel. When theta is 180, that means cos theta is -1. That is, it will be minimum. So dot product is minimum when the vectors are anti-parallel or opposite. Let's see the graph. So graph will be the cosine graph. It will have a maximum value AB at theta is equal to 0, minimum value minus AB at theta is equal to 180, as you can interpret from these relations. So it's very easily to solve your questions by this memory map method. This is called spider map basically. And in this you learn information in an interconnected way, in an effective way, so that you can learn better, you can retain better, and you can perform better. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody. Myself Vishvendra, I am the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. Today I will discuss about binomial theorem. So the binomial theorem states that 1 plus x raised to power n can be reduced to this form: 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 by 2 x square plus so on up to infinity. And for a very special case, when x is very small, so for x very small, approximately equal to 0, we can neglect the higher powers, and 1 plus x की power n can be approximated by 1 plus nx. We have two examples. The first is 1.0001 raised to power 6. It can be written as 1 plus 0.0001 raised to power 6. So it can be written as 1 plus 6 into 0.0001, which can be approximated by 1.0006. Next is 0.9998 raised to power 7. It can be written as 1 minus 0.0002 raised to power 7, which can be approximated by 0.9986. Binomial theorem is of very useful nature in solving questions, basically from radioactivity, or it finds use in certain expression of decay questions. So if you know this trick, if you know the approximations, then you can solve your questions quickly. Thank you and have a nice day. Good morning everybody. Myself vishvendra, the founder of Optimal Success Trajectory. आज आपसे क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट की मैग्नीट्यूड के बारे में भी डिस्कशन करूंगा. तो मान लीजिए कि आपको a क्रॉस b वेक्टर दिया हुआ है. a क्रॉस b होता है ab sin theta into n cap. तो इसका जो मैग्नीट्यूड आएगा that will be ab मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ sin theta. तो हम देखेंगे कि ये मैग्नीट्यूड किस कंडीशन में मैक्सिमम होगा और किस कंडीशन में